Sonicstate here at Superbooth 2018 and here at the Soulsby booth with Paul. Paul Soulsby, in fact.
Hi there.
So when you got soul in your name, you've got to make products with soul.
Yeah, well, I try my best. I certainly try my best.
Okay, now, showing something a little bit special. Now, before we go too far, we have to say this is an early version. It's not quite ready yet, is it? So
yeah, I'd say like maybe it's 5% of the software's actually completed on it so far.
Okay.
This was just a case of getting something ready that made the sound and gave the feel of the instrument.
Okay.
But this is a tip of the iceberg.
Okay. So we've seen the Atmegatron before. This is the Atmultitron. So in a nutshell, what are we looking at? We're
looking at 8 Atmegatrons, which is this bit here. These are voice cards, the Megatron voice cards, using the Atmega processor and software from the original Atmegatron, now with plenty of CV possibilities for Eurorack outputs and also inputs, which will be able to do wavetable sampling and frequency modulation. It's also got an internal analog routing as well, so you can route any voice to another voice. And the key thing about this is, though this is currently set up as a 8-voice polysynth, you'll be able to load any software onto any voice card. So I could have a 4-voice polysynth, 2 drum machines.
Yeah. Just backing up a little bit, one of the things that made the Atmegatron quite an interesting device was that you could change like the firmware on it, and turn it from a synth to a drum machine to like
7 completely different software versions that changed it from drum machine, delay machine.
So then this is basically any of those voices, because there's 8 in one.
There's 8. So the idea is it's a performance machine where you would work out how you wanted to divide up these voice cards. If you wanted 2 or 3 for drums, maybe an Auditron on one for doing a nice rounded bass line, and then maybe 2 or 3 for a polysynth for doing some chords. And of course you can use the strings machine. I was just working it out earlier. The standard Atmegatron strings machine is an 8 oscillator, 4-voice paraphonic synth. Times that by 8, you're looking at a 64 oscillator synthesizer.
Nice.
If you filled it all with string machines.
Cool.
So yeah.
Okay, so that kind of flexibility is open to the end user then, and it's a little bit easier to change those modules now, you mentioning?
Yeah, the programmer cable's gone. We're doing everything on micro SD for storing patches, storing the firmwares, which can all be sent internally. So you'll set up your voices, and the voice setup's all using the MPE system of zones. So the plan is to make it completely MPE compatible.
Very, very up to date. Very cool. So so we're looking now. There's like little, if you can see, there's like kind of little OLED screens for all of those main parameters.
And if I click a button, you'll see it goes through different ones. And actually, the idea was with the old Atmegatron, you had plastic overlays. Now they're gone, and any label, this can be anything.
Yeah, great. Okay. So one of the things about the Atmegatron was it was an 8-bit synthesizer, and this is still the 8-bit synthesizer, but with the addition of
analog filters.
Right.
So yeah, our voice cards are all still 100% 8-bit. The controller unit is 32-bit, but we've also got the analog filters, analog VCAs as well. So if I do a little bit of sweeping, you can hear that's the nice silky smooth analog filter. That's based on the CEM3320 filters, 8 of those, all under digital control, so they'll all have their own independent envelopes and LFOs. Same with the VCAs, all under digital control, all with their own LFOs and envelopes.
So this combination then of like that kind of like 8-bit sound, a crunchy 8-bit sound, the analog filters can go some way to sort of smoothing all of that.
The real joy is combining the Atmegatron 8-bit digital filter.
Mixing the filters.
Yeah, that's the bottom. So there's the digital filter. Very crunchy. And now a little bit of the analog filter on top.
Nice. a bit best of both worlds, really.
Yes. Yeah.
And also, just at the back there, we can see the Atmegatron 2.
Yes.
And that's also new, yeah?
Yeah, so the idea is this is actually a range of products. I'm showing just two off here. This is the Atmultitron, this is the top of the line, everything in one box, music, 8-bit workstation. This is like the successor to the Atmegatron, where it'll be the controller, and it's called Atmegatron 2, firstly because it's the successor to the Atmegatron 1. Also, it's got two Atmegatron cards. So it's still two Atmegatrons in one box, basically.
And with the same OLED displays.
Exactly the same control, so no more programmer cables, and all the same tech.
Yeah, nice.
And these will also be dividable into Eurorack modules as well, so you can see that there's a voice there, there's the VCA there, the filters there, and then it's all centers around this controller. The idea is you use the controller with all these different products, it will control the whole range.
Wow. And I noticed over on the left there a little joystick. I'm a big fan of joysticks.
Yeah.
What can we do with it?
So that will be assignable to any parameter. It's
Excellent.
just locked today to pitch vet and filter. LFO on the pitch. But that will eventually be assignable to anything, and again it will be controllable in your MPE zones. So it's not like if you've got drums on some voices and polysynth on another, you go, oh, I'll just do a pitch bend, all the drums come up. That's not going to happen. You'll choose your zone and then just be applying that to the bit you're working on.
So there can't be that many 8-bit workstations being made at the moment. Then this is kind of in its own sort of.
Yeah, I don't think there's any. So I don't think there's any. Yeah, no, I really wanted to sort of show that that this can be more than just a chiptune machine.
Gotcha.
That it is expressive, can do complex timbres, especially with the added filters. And then by layering up the voices in different ways, you'll be able to get really sort of rich and complex timbres with it.
So these like funny little like kind of what are they? The LED sort of lights. They just show to show amounts and
exactly.
But they change brightness as well.
Yeah, that's just me changing the cutoff. The idea was that I felt it was important to be able to see the cutoff of every voice, because these voices will frequently be working as independent instruments. I felt it was important to be able to show the cutoff of all of them at any one time.
Yeah, you can see.
It's a little bit boring at the moment because it's just an 8-voice poly at the moment. So they all just do the same thing.
Gotcha.
And that's just the edit, because at the moment I'm editing them all together. They're all on, but it'll be able to show you which one you're editing. Yeah.
Great. So, when do you reckon it's going to be ready? Just so everyone's got a rough idea.
I'm hoping to have the product to show off at Synthfest UK as a launch of the product.
Right, so in October this year.
October. With the hope of then having a production system in place for the end of the year.
Yeah. And things like prices and stuff, we can wait until then to find out.
I'm not going to say anything because there's a lot of variables involved. Yeah. I know the price of one prototype and I'm not going to mention it.
Okay.
It won't be that.
Sure.
It will be less, but I don't want to even go into it yet.
No worries, that's fine. We'll wait and see. But thanks ever so much for showing us.
Thanks so much.
Very interesting, very exciting.
Yeah, great. Nice to see you.
Cheers.
Okay.